these are the winners of our 2023 Halloween film contest.
Yeah.
So exciting. Do you feel so excited?
I'm so excited.
He can barely contain it.
He can barely contain the excitement.
Very accomplished.
Well, thank you so much for driving down here to come and say hi to us, and so we could officially meet you.
Dallin and Chaise.
Dallin and Chaise. Chaise was also the actor in this film.
Yes.
I'm sure you did more too. We want to dive into that. So
let's start off by telling us how did you get into filmmaking? Well, before that, what do you do now? What's your day-to-day
What
like?
are you?
Yeah.
Right now, I am going to school for film, and I'm also working part-time at a grocery store. And just trying to soak up all the knowledge I can about film, make short films, and finish school. So that's the goal right now.
Cool. So is that like when you say film, is it like a specific part of film, or do they just teach you like a little bit of each branch? And
so I've just been doing my generals right now, so I don't even. I've taken one film class this semester, and it's like a really beginner class, but mainly I just been doing my generals. So
wow. So you're like pretty self-taught then at this point. You did a really great job.
Yeah,
YouTube University.
Yes.
Are you excited to see what these next 2 years or 3 years have for you?
Oh yeah.
Where you learn more of like the ins and outs?
My goal is to get onto film sets and just really get some on-set experience. So.
Cool.
That would be really
Does
cool.
that look like you having to leave town to get like bigger experience?
Yes, I'm actually going to Provo next month, and I'm planning on transferring to the college there, and then just trying to go and get on a set over there.
Be around more.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably a bigger area, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like not really a niche area here for filmmaking
It's
and any
true.
production of any sort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you said you were going to the school for filmmaking though. So you like chose to come out here.
Yes. Well, I was going to school with like having this in mind that I'll get all my generals here and then transfer over to school in Provo.
Okay.
And so that's where I would actually start like learning filmmaking. But just on my own, I've been doing it as well.
That's really cool. That's cool. What about you, Chaise?
Me, I just graduated, and so I'm in the in-between of figuring out what to do next. There's lots of different opportunities to do film, like through online websites. There's like Backstage and Actors Access and several things. So it's more like I still have friends like Dallin around here that I've been doing like some projects with, just getting experience with that, and then started moving into more of like Utah doing commercials and things.
Cool.
And then after
That's
that,
awesome.
yeah, it's kind of fun. And then you get to apply for or audition for a lot of different opportunities. So it's like one you might be in Montana for a month and then in Florida for a couple days, and it'll just kind of depend.
So is that like with an agency?
Yeah.
Not yet. I heard somewhere that it's kind of good to get experience like doing it on your own, like what it's like having that, so that once you do get an agent and everything, you kind of have your own knowledge that you're bringing into it, as well as like they're able to send you and feel confident about like putting you on a set knowing that you're going to be. But everyone kind of does it a different way. Some people jump in with an agent, some people don't. So yeah, I think I'll just test it out for at least a couple months and see how it's going. And then if I'm like, okay, I'm ready to branch out and get more opportunities, then I'll start applying.
Yeah,
I guess,
that's cool. You have any opportunities without an agent, that you can do that on your own and like seek out these. I didn't know about that.
Do you have like a background in theater, or how did you get into acting?
I think I started acting is 3 years ago now. Probably pretty close. Yeah.
Wow.
So like, I'd always thought that it was fascinating, and I had lots of friends that were actors, but I was like, yeah, I can never do it. I'm too shy. And then there was this one time where I was like, you know what, I might as well. I started to grow up, and I was like, I should stop being so self-conscious. And so, but then be careful, because if you ever like start getting into acting, I feel like it's addictive. And I just fell in love with it at that point. And so they don't have a film acting program at BYUI, so I did theater acting there. But then they have the communications department does some film things. So like I was able to go and do short films and commercials and things with them and kind of bounce back and forth. But it was kind of cool. Get a little bit of a well-rounded experience with it. So it was fun.
Was acting natural at first?
I feel like no. Kind of. Some people can jump into it really easily. I feel like almost it's becoming harder, like the more I know about it, because it's like, oh, now I have to be aware of this, and like, oh, the camera's here, which eye should you be looking at? Like there's lots of little technical things like that.
So realizing how much you don't know.
Yeah, and it was kind of nice at the first, because like I wasn't really thinking about it, so I was just like, oh, it's natural, you just do whatever. And now it's like, oh, I could be bettering myself through all this. So it's almost like when you first start out, it feels almost more natural. And then as you get going into it, you're like, okay, wait, now I have to deconstruct this and make this all complicated. And it's not as just easy and fun anymore.
Yeah, like the imposter syndrome kicks in, like all those things that you're thinking about more.
Yeah. So, but it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we realized how hard real acting was when we made our short film
I got tricked into being our actor.
She's so embarrassed of it. I played around the house all the time.
An actor at all. And so
Yeah.
there's supposed to be another actor with me, but conveniently his part got cut and I was the
You were
last
given
one
the solo
left.
scene.
But so props to you. I feel it even more.
I think everyone's kind of an actor though, to some extent. It's like, oh, you have to meet like future in-laws potentially. You're going to put on like a front there or like
okay, that's a good point.
petitioning something to a teacher. Like I think it to some extent you're always getting into a different character for something.
I guess that's the way to think about it too.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
Yeah. So how did you come up with the idea for your film?
Yeah.
Well, my aunt actually sent me like this competition. I had no idea about it. I thought it was so cool. And so I just started thinking about scary things and things that are scary normally like follow you around at night. So that's kind of where it started. And then I drove to Idaho Falls, looked around for a cool mask, got the mask, and then just wrote the script in like a couple hours, and then just started putting it into motion.
Nice. Well, it was really well done. Yeah.
Thanks.
Especially because the It Follows has that's been done before, like something following you. So when we first saw it, it was like, well, when I saw the screenshot of it with the It Follows, I was like, this could either be really good or just like really cliche.
Yep.
And it was totally not what I expected.
Really?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it was, I loved like the flow of it. And then Chaise, your acting like really brought it out.
Thank you.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure pushed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of people everyone has their own opinions of winners and stuff. And I think what came down to it was we watched these films so many times.
Literally.
And it came down to the three last films, which was yours. I think it was Creature.
I thought that would be it.
Double Walker.
Was it Double Walker?
Double Walker. It was like 4, but it was like Creature.
And it was funny because you watch them all, when you watch them all together with like all the submissions, they stand out. But when you watch those 4 back to back, yours just... Everyone in the room, during the judging, I would stop each video and kind of look around, and yours was the only one that every time people were like not looking at their judging cards, like just watching. Yeah. That's like what we want, like just like to bring you in and make it feel like real. So it was really good. Yeah.
So good job.
I think what's fun is because like we had the concept down and the script down and everything, but what was fun to play into it is we were kind of improvising it on set. Was the like, how much is this person real versus is it in her head? Like that ambiguity is kind of, I think, what makes it like creepy and scary. Is it's like, oh, should we see that like she does see him and he's like back there and like that's like an actual thing, or it's like, oh, she turns around and there's actually nothing there, but she's like sensing it or whatever.
You feel that.
So then it was kind of fun because that was something that I think like wasn't necessarily like in the script. It was that we were kind of working on it, like we do it different takes, different ways. Like he's on the couch, like does she see him when she turns? Does she not? Like, and then it kind of just developed from there, I think.
True.
So yeah.
No, that's cool. So you guys had more of a collaborative effort on this then, like you.
Oh, he's the mastermind behind it. No, I just get to help out.
We always collaborate. Like I have the script. I normally always write my own scripts, but like anytime anyone has a good idea on set, of course you want to do that. That's And
I think that's liberating, like as an actor, like being able to talk to him about it and know that like, oh, I have this idea, or like there's this impulse as an actress. Like I've been doing the work on my character. Like I feel like maybe I would act like this, and he's really good to listen. But also like he has like the overview of exactly what he wants. So it's like, it always comes down to his decision. But yeah, it is nice to be able to like ask questions or like, I don't know, give input.
Had you worked with actors before?
Yeah, I've worked with her for how long? A couple of years now?
2 years now.
I remember how we met is I was on set. I offered to shoot BTS for this short film this student was doing. I was like pretty new to the college and I just really wanted experience. And while I was filming, like she was the one actor on set where I was like, she's the actor I need in one of my short films. And so I got her contact information after like during that. And then I remember, how long was it? It was like a while before I had written my whole short film.
It was like a semester in the summer before.
Yeah. And then I just reached out to her and then we started making films together. She's probably been in like almost every single one of my films. So.
That's really cool.
But yeah.
Have you worked with other actors with different personalities?
Yes.
I was going to ask how that's been. Or how do you manage that?
I mean, I think the really interesting part is finding an actor that's perfect for like a perfect role, because some actors I've met, I don't feel like they would be able to have a lot of versatility, but like if you just cast like the perfect person for the perfect role, it makes it easier to work with them, even if they have, you know, a different strong personality, and you can kind of direct them in a way that brings out their best acting for that role, because you can really see it in them. And I'm not saying I can really like see that in everyone and I have that vision, because I don't, but I really feel like it helps when I'm working with an actor, and I don't know, I just see something in them, and then I try to help them like bring that out, if that makes sense.
So what is your favorite part out of the whole filmmaking process? Like there was like kind of the directing and like, you know, like with the actor part? Or is it like the editing? You know, no one likes the editing part.
I actually do enjoy the editing as well, but I love the process of going through all the shots. I love trying to envision what it's going to look like. That's a big part of it. I don't know. I'd say just the process of it. I'm being on set and getting all the shots, and then at the end of it, editing it. Just the whole process. So
it is pretty fun. It's really
what
fun.
stresses you out the most?
Just kidding. No, not you.
Because I know there's like a million things on set that happens.
Logistics,
like technical difficulties.
Logistics of everything, because I'm doing everything, and I know normally on like a professional film set you'd be in charge of a couple jobs, but I have to make sure everyone's on time. I have to make sure that things are set up on time, the lights, everything. I have to make sure that all these things go to plan, and that we know when we go for lunch, we know when we do this. Normally things a producer would do, I have to make sure I'm on top of it. So
getting especially locations.
Yeah,
dealing
finding
with the
locations.
Weather.
Exactly. And so we're about to work on our next project this week. Actually, we're starting filming, and it's one of the harder ones I've taken on. So it's going to be challenging.
That's exciting though.
What is it?
It's called Are We Dreaming? And so it's basically about starring you and a different girl, Aria. And they're both walking basically back home, and they run into a psychopath. And so he kind of takes them back to his house, and it becomes sort of
like a thriller kind of
a survival thriller movie.
Intense.
So
And is that going to be like a full like hour and a half long movie?
Yeah.
Or?
No. It's going to be like 15 minutes, maybe.
Do you post these on your YouTube? Cool. We'll have to go watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You said you've done others too. Yeah.
How long was Great Tits?
45 minutes.
That's a long time. That's
Good
a
for
big
you guys.
production.
Wow.
It was long.
Wow. That's all.
Yeah,
we do
that is a
music
long
videos.
time.
That's a couple minutes.
So from your point of view, Chaise, what was the most memorable scene that you guys did? I know my favorite scene. I want to hear yours.
I feel like there's a difference from like me watching it, there being a favorite scene, and then like behind the scenes being a favorite scene.
Yeah, so let's do both.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay, behind the scenes, it's fun like being in the bathroom scene, like where we're there, because there's like cushions that I'm sitting on to try and make me taller. And then like it's a small bathroom. And so we've got like the camera like in the tub, and we've got Dallin like balancing up on the sides of the tub trying to do it. And then like when he's like peeking around the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like in
Was
like
that
this.
Dallin?
No, that's one of our friends who was doing the sound, and so like when he wasn't doing acting, he was helping with the sound.
Yeah.
But he was like in this weird position, like sprawled, trying to like just have his face sticking around. And we're like, I promise you won't see your body. Like you'll just see the face. So like a lot of like.
Was he like crawling on the door?
When you crouch down and like slowly go closer.
Yeah.
Or like me laying in the bed and him like on top. Like the positions that we're in that you don't see on camera, it looks like super goofy, and it would not be scary at all because like we look ridiculous with what we're doing. Or like trying to scream in an apartment where like he has like other roommates that are doing their own stuff. Awkward stuff like that.
That scene where you scream in the outside of the gas station.
Oh yeah.
That's where I was like, she committed, and I bet there were people watching.
There was like
There
a
had to have
person
been.
right next to us. It was so funny. I was like filming it, like looked over.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Did you tell them what you were
fun, though.
doing? Or?
No,
No.
because
We
it's
just
like
went
people
for
are
it.
coming and going, and we're waiting for it, and so it's just like everyone
do it.
look weird, and then they drive off. The next people get to come and watch. I'm like, oh, fantastic.
Were you there for a while doing that scene?
How long were we there? 30 minutes.
Okay.
Probably 30 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, that's not too
wasn't
bad.
too bad. It
Not
wasn't.
too painful.
Yeah. What about watching it? What's your favorite?
Yeah, watching.
Okay. I don't know if there's just one scene, but I liked the way that he edited it and spliced it with like it cutting back and forth. So it's like, oh, I'm talking to the camera and like there's this intense moment, but then it goes to like a different scene. So I think just in general, like what I was mentioning and how I'd written the script, like, oh, like, and then I saw it and then it goes to that next scene.
Yeah.
So like that combined with how we did sound design, I think that was probably just my favorite.
The sound was really good too.
Because
that
it's like,
really
I'm like, it's not like I'm scared while I'm there. I mean, I'm acting like I am, but then like when you add the sound and everything, it's like, oh, this is kind of creepy. This is kind of intense.
The sound was
and
great.
And then I think just like where he cut it off at the end, because we had kind of like, oh, do we show like what the monster did, like the aftermath of it all, or do we like kind of leave it there? So I think that's probably my favorite, is just the ending where it just cuts off and it leaves it to the imagination. Like, oh, what happened to her? Was it real? Was it not? Is she crazy? Is she dead?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's probably my favorite.
That scene was my dad's favorite scene. He keeps talking about it because he helped us.
Oh,
he
fun.
was like, that last bathroom scene. That one was so good.
I really liked the scene where you were on the couch and the ZipRecruiter
I
noise.
love that. Like
it was just a commercial
the
she was
audio.
watching.
Oh, yeah.
Something about it just felt so natural. Like out of all the things you could have chosen to
was a
do, the
perfect
TV
commercial.
noise was like,
That one was fun because I got to
a
be
nice
eating
touch.
during it. So that's always fun.
Eat some popcorn.
Yeah.
did you ever try to do an ending where you showed the monster?
No.
Or did you see
No.
your friend come around the corner and you're like, no.
Well, we were just trying to keep it
No.
because we don't have, all this professional stuff, and we didn't. The one thing I really want to try to not make it is like cheesy, and so I really try my best to not show the monster as much. And plus, I think it's better because when you don't show it as much, just in films too, it scares me more. I feel like when you're like,
For sure.
don't know.
Unless you're like really good at making the monster.
Exactly.
But it has
Yeah.
to be really good.
Yeah.
Saying
Hit or miss.
that, the thing I regret about this film, or I think I can make it better, is having a good jump scare though, and having it something that's really building up to like something even more at one point. I don't know where I
Okay.
do it exactly, but I know
Yeah.
I watched Creature, and I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was
Creature was a really good.
That
They
last,
did
like,
a
jump scare
really
in
good
the
job.
room.
Yeah.
plus with the blood and everything, and
For
I was
sure.
like,
Yeah.
that was the one thing with that effect where I was like, okay,
That was a really
pretty
cool
good.
one. Yeah. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, man, it was seriously so close because
Yeah.
they're both
I bet,
they're both
no.
so good. And
Yeah.
Creature was cool when they had the flashlight and the flakes showing
Like, you
kind of
see all
like the
the-
dust
the dust.
particles, and
Yeah,
it
I
just
thought
looked
that
like a
was
really
cool
good
too.
camera. But yeah, it just came down to feelings really at the end, and like yours just brought the most like natural, like real feeling
Yeah.
where it just
Yeah.
felt like it could have been real, and it was cool.
Thank
Right
you.
though. So you said the other film you were working on was like spooky too. So do you like do this type of genre of like more Halloween inspired? Or did you do other things?
Lately, I have been a lot, I guess. I mean, I started off, my first film is about suicide and depression and going over that. And she's one of the stars in that one. And then from then, our next one, we haven't released it yet, but it's also a serial killer one where she's a serial killer.
Yeah, I got to go from being
you
the
got to be the
perpetrator
serial
to
killer.
the victim. Yeah.
Nice.
That one's
Okay.
coming out soon. We just sent it to some film festivals. So
That's awesome.
And then, yeah, I guess the ones we've been doing lately is kind of spookier and more thriller. So.
Yeah.
But I think with yours, especially the longer ones that we're doing, so maybe not the past one with the psychopath, but like Gray Tints and then Are We Dreaming? He does a really great job of in his scripts. There's lots of like the dialogue is bringing up really deep topics. I don't know how much I should share about like this next one, but there are some like tough things that the two sisters are going through, and they're like kind of discussing that like before everything happens. And so like there's deep concepts, but also just like struggles. And I think that's kind of what like brings the characters to life in
For
his
sure.
scripts, and why I like playing them so much, because it's not like, oh, there's this person who runs into this other person and it's kind of scary. It's like, oh, like these people have like deep backgrounds and
Yeah.
they're struggling with stuff. And like, this is just another thing on top of it. So it makes them feel really, I guess, real, and gives me a lot to work with on my end. So
Because you did have a really developed character for a short in that video. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So are you writing all of these yourself?
Yep.
Not AI or anything?
No.
Good for you. Good job. That's
Do you
awesome.
ever like pass them around to people to read before you start production, or do you just
Lately, I
Trust your
haven't
gut.
at all.
Yeah.
I've just trusted my gut. But honestly, I would love for people to read them, give me feedback, so I know I'm not doing something terrible. But I just don't have a lot of people I like fully trust
Sure.
at this moment with that kind of stuff.
yeah?
Yeah.
But yeah, I trust her always though.
Because then it's like you got to know who you're getting feedback from, and if it's not
Exactly.
credible, then
Because
it's
I've
like
had
who
people
cares?
say, "Oh, I don't
That's
think
true.
that sounds good," and then I'll do it, and then anyway, and then really good things happen, or we get into film festivals and like this stuff starts happening. I'm like, okay, I need to make sure I get the right people to have feedback from as well.
And trust your gut too.
There's a big difference between knowing what you want on camera and knowing how to get that look on camera.
Yeah.
And usually those people who know what they want like have no idea how to get the look. And it just makes it a nightmare.
Well, and where it's art, everything is kind of up to opinion also. I mean, there's obviously like good quality and not as good quality and stuff, but everybody's gonna have an opinion. So I think if you're trying to like nitpick at it, like there will always be something to change. And so it's like, at what point do you let go and say, okay, this is good enough versus like, I don't know, working as hard to make it as good as you can. So
100%. But we were thinking about that with our music videos the other day. We just revisited them after like months and months. And it's kind of that feeling when you're done, you're like, okay, I'm ready to be done with this. I need to like set it to the side. I'm kind of tired of it. And then we go back and look, we're like, oh my gosh, that was so great. Like you kind of erased all of those like being tired of doing it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, you've said that a lot.
I think it's just when you do all the pieces,
like
it's really easy to like not take a step back and look at it all and be like
a third party eye.
Yeah.
See it like a fresh perspective.
Yeah, you sometimes say that. You're like, I don't know if this is actually good or if I've just been staring at it for like 7 days straight. And so
it's burned into my brain right now.
It's true.
Yeah.
Usually by the time you finish a video, you're just like, this is okay.
I know.
Because it's like I've seen it so many times.
Like, it's hard. But
what do you do in times like that?
I think you just have to really trust the beginning process of it as well, because I've seen, different documentaries about this, about people who write comedy, and then after the film, they're like, this could be just absolute trash. And then they give it to the audience and everyone starts laughing. And I think if you perfect it in like pre-production and you have it set, then you should just trust your gut and just go with it. So.
Yeah. Stick with the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So what advice do you have for other aspiring filmmakers?
I am still an amateur myself, I will say.
Yeah.
But I think the most important things in this industry would be to be kind, but also be firm. And I think what I mean by that is obviously being kind gets you so far in anything in life and you'll open so many doors. But being firm is like not giving up your vision or your dream, no matter what it is. Like, because if you really believe in it and you know it's realistic and you know you can do this, never sell out or never just give up on that. I think you have to be kind, but you also have to say, no, this is what I want. So. Sure.
And in this industry too, like you can,
people can sense when you don't have that like will to be firm, and they'll push all over you in those productions. And it's just like, you never get anything done. And if you aren't the kind of person to be firm, go on a production in like an hour, you will be.
Yeah, you're like,
because eventually you hit that wall and you're like, everyone's like, no, you over there. Like, yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever worked on any big productions? Like, I guess not. What's the biggest you've done?
I haven't. Like that. That's why I was always determined. Like, I've been into film since I was 11 years old. That's when I picked up the camera. That's when I realized, okay, this is what I want to do. And
that's pretty early.
Yeah.
That's good.
I just went around the neighborhood, made like a 45-minute short film with my like it was a dumb little action short film with all my friends.
Though.
It's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
And amazing. From then I just made I have so many dumb short films for my kid when I was a kid. And then when I was coming to college, I knew, okay, this is it. This is exactly what I want to do. And even though I'm in Rexburg, Idaho, I don't have like a bunch of film sets I can just hop on. I'm going to make my own. I'm just going to do it.
That's awesome.
The next step is getting onto those big film sets.
For sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, just do with what you got and make it happen. That's really cool that you started making these shorts at like such a young age. Because it's like for us,
a lot of people have the idea to do things like that, but to actually follow through with it, it's not easy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who, with this contest, were like, I want to do this. And so, I mean, the majority didn't. Yeah. Just because they got to the point of actually filming and like realizing what it takes to like put it together, and they were like, "Oh shit, this is hard. This is way harder than I thought." Yeah.
But that's kind of the point of it, to like respect you and your craft and like how hard you are working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we expect you to submit next year if we have another one?
Yeah.
If you're around.
What are the rules though? Is it?
We don't know yet.
It'll be new rules.
We just know it'll be bigger. Yeah. I don't know if it's at the Paramount. We'll have a viewing somewhere. So we'll definitely show the top 10 or top 15, however many we decide to go with.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
just
we have
try to go bigger.
Ideas for
more
this
prizes,
year.
hopefully.
Because it
if
was
we're
a really fun
allowed to,
response.
from
What?
like being out of state, like
Go for it.
Then yeah,
Yeah.
we totally. Why not?
Why not?
If you're not
We
too
had a
busy
few-
with your acting and filmmaking careers,
Yeah, maybe
We'll
you're
make
so
time.
busy
We'll
by
make
then.
they'll pencil us in. Yeah.
Thank you guys for that. Do you
Cool.
have any
So
other questions for them?
no, I think we should just have Dallin tell us about his YouTubes and
Yeah.
socials
Where
so
can
that we can
people
all
come
follow
find
him.
you?
My channel is just my name, Dallin Hodgkin,
Okay.
and my Instagram is just Dallin_Hodgkin. So
All right. Follow Dallin on Instagram. What about you? Let's hear your Insta.
My Insta, Chaise_Dodson. We'll keep it simple for everyone.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll go
check
follow
them
him.
out.
Yeah.
And then we also have our all the final videos posted on our website, so you can
Yep.
go and check it out and watch them there as well.
sweet.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.